It can get lonely climbing Mount McKinley, so to entertain myself, I go to ChumbaCasino.com. At Chumba Casino, I can play hundreds of online casino-style games for free, like online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Plus, I get a daily login bonus. It's just too bad that up here, I don't have anyone to share my excitement with. Woohoo!
Live the Chumba life. Anytime, anywhere. Play for free now at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
On your mark, get ready, start.
Broadcasting from California and Delaware, this is the Hard Rocking Trivia Show. And here are your hosts, Mark and Danny.
All right, boys and girls, welcome to the Hard Rockin' Trivia Show. Woo! Episode 271. This is our final show of 2024. And what we're going to do in this episode is we're going to do some rapid fire, and then we're going to finish off the show with a little countdown top 10 albums of what our favorites of 2024. So we've been doing a whole year's worth of research in the last 3 days to narrow it down to 10. I heard some stinkers. I heard some are decent. So we're going to give you some honorable mentions, some disappointments, and our top 10. I hope you're entertained. I also wanted to bring up the fact before Christmas, I was a little busy because I took a trip down to Mexico, Ensenada. While I was there, I put together some playlists on Spotify from years 1981, 1980, 81, 82, 83, 80, and 84.
Jeez.
So I was busy. So there's probably a little...
Yeah, weren't you supposed to be there with family?
I was there in the family, but there was some times where if everybody was taking a nap,
siesta time.
I had to do something. And I slept great down there, but sometimes I was sleeping at different times than they were. So you got yourself some free Spotify playlists. If you like hard rock and metal from the 80s, each year is about 200 plus songs, and
nice.
Check them out. All right, and now
I'll definitely check them out.
Yeah, I need some people to save it or like it or whatever you can do, and share it with your friends. And so if you're like doing what I do, is I take these long walks and I put music on and I just go. Kind of helps things out.
Nice.
All right, and now let's go switch gears and play some rapid fire.
All right.
All right, Danny, you ready for some questions?
I think so. I've got some good ones for you. I don't know that you'll get any of these, but you may pull it out of your orifice.
All right, so people out there, play along with us. These are hard rock and metal and classic rock trivia questions. Here we go. Question number 1. 3 current members of Guns N' Roses were also members of another current active band. Name that band. So 3 current Guns N' Roses guys were from another band that is still active today.
Jeez. I'm going to say it's not the big 3 of Guns N' Roses where it's Slash, Axl, and Duff.
Correct. See, there are 27 people in the band now.
Right.
I think
it could be any number of people.
I think there's like 7 or 8 people in Guns N' Roses right now, so it's one of those people.
Yeah, see, I don't know any of the others, so I have no clue because I can't name any of the other members of the band. I know there's...
Really? Because
the black dude drummer.
Yeah, one of those people is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and is a long-time member. But the other 2 people that I'm talking about are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
All right, yeah, I don't know.
And no clue?
Rick Ocasek.
Yay!
No.
It's got to be a band. Current Rick Ocasek is dead. Okay, a current band. And in fact, I saw this band.
Who's in Guns N' Roses besides those 3 guys?
Okay, because I saw this band this year. No clue. All right, I'll even give you the names of the guys.
Is it is the band? Let me see. Oh shoot, Tracy Guns, his band.
You mean LA Guns?
Yeah.
Incorrect.
Dang it.
All right, the three guys are Dizzy Reed, who is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the piano player. Richard Fortus, the guy with the big nose, is the other guitar player. And Frank Furrier, who is the drummer. They're all former members of the Dead Daisies.
Oh, jeez.
In fact,
Dead Daisies, that narrows it down to about 50 people.
Dizzy Reed and Richard Fortus are founding members of the Dead Daisies.
Well, they were the first guys in it.
Yeah, they
founding members, kind of.
Yeah, they were the first group of guys. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
So 0 for 1, sir. So we're probably going 0 for 6 on this one, guys. So don't hate us.
Well, you may guess this one, so
all right.
We'll see. All right, I'm going to give you a list of 5 bass players, and you tell me which one is the oldest.
Okay.
The oldest, all right? So we got Billy Sheehan.
Okay.
Michael Anthony.
Uh-huh.
Rudy Sarzo. Phil Susan.
Okay.
And Glenn Hughes.
Glenn Hughes. All of these guys are older than some people think. I think all these guys are in their maybe 60s and 70s, right? I think maybe
That is correct. They're older than us, that's for sure.
I'm going to say Billy Sheehan.
That would be incorrect by about 3 years.
Wow. Okay, so my second guess, I've already missed the question. I would go with Glenn Hughes.
Nope.
Okay, that narrows it down. I got 3 guys left. Michael Anthony, Rudy Sarzo, or Phil Susan. I'm going to say it is Rudy Sarzo.
That is correct. He was born in 1950.
Jeez.
1950. Glenn Hughes was born in 51. And Phil Suzanne was born in 1961. So he's the youngest.
He's the baby. Wow. Yeah. Rudy Sarzo.
But he's still 63.
Who still looks good, too. You know, and he's one of those guys that came from Cuba. So I don't know if he swam over or got in a boat or somehow.
Who knows?
He came over. He may have came over before the Cuban Missile Crisis. I'm not even sure. But, yeah, he's an old dude. Looks great, though.
Yeah. He still plays great.
I don't think he's licking his bass anymore. He might be. I don't know. Or maybe that's what keeps you young. You lick your bass and you'll live forever.
Let's see, I saw Quiet Riot at the last M3, and I don't remember him licking his bass, but he was playing it all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw him in Ozzy when he would play with Ozzy. That's when they made him stay in one place. You know, he just did all the shapes, but he's pretty much, him and Randy pretty much didn't move. They moved around, but they didn't go back and forth and across the stage. They stayed in their little areas, and Ozzy was the one running around. And that was by design. They made him do it.
Yeah, well, not anymore.
No, now he's free to roam.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
All right, so that and Michael Anthony was 1954.
Okay.
So
yeah, I thought Sheehan. I know Sheehan's an older. He looks older. I mean, he's old, but he's older than people think because he's been around since.
Yeah.
He was in a band with. Wasn't he in a band with? Like Rick James or something like that, or not Rick James,
I don't know about that one.
Somebody in the 70s, somebody from Buffalo, maybe Rick James or somebody who was friends with him way before we even knew who Rick James was. I mean, he's
right.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Bass player from Buffalo.
Yep. Question 2 for you.
All right.
What is the highest charting Sammy Hagar solo album on the U.S. Billboard charts? Not a band, not The Circle, not any bands he's been in. Solo album.
Not Van Halen.
Nope.
Okay. Highest charting album. I'm going to say VOA.
VOA. Incorrect.
Dang it.
And when I tell you the name of this album, it will make perfect sense. From
3 Lock Box.
Nope. From 1987. I Never Said Goodbye, the one he did while he was in Van Halen with Eddie Van Halen on bass. That went to number 14.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you were close.
All right.
You got the right decade, so.
Yeah.
So
Dang it.
we're now 0 for 3.
0 for 3. All right. Well, let's see how you do at this one. Question 2 for you. How many shows did Rob Halford sing for Black Sabbath?
I believe 1.
That would be incorrect.
Wow. I know he did one in
He
Costa.
did one replacing Ozzy in 2004.
Oh, he did one when he replaced Dio, didn't he?
He did 2 for Dio.
Oh, okay. I know he did
So
one.
he did 3 shows.
I know he did one in California, but I think
Yeah, he did 2 for Dio in 1992.
I don't know what happened. I guess Dio was unhappy with something. I don't know.
Throwing a little tantrum.
Yeah, he always did. Yeah. But he's Dio. He can do that.
I guess. I tell you, the Black Sabbath songs with Dio are definitely my favorite.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules. Oh, gee. They're total classics.
Yeah. Well, stuff with Ozzy.
I like them way better than with the stuff with Ozzy.
Yeah. Both classic, but completely different bands. Really. Just one guy. It's like Van Halen. Completely different. Change your singer.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't compare Van Halen with David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar. They're 2 different bands.
Okay.
All right.
0 for 4.
0 for 4. We are killing it.
All right. And this is the one I think you might have a shot at. Okay.
All right.
I'm going to name 4 drummers, and all these drummers have something in common. Okay. All these 4 drummers played with the same guitar player in his band or one of his solo projects. Here's the drummers. Carmine Appice, Tommy Aldridge, Nico McBrain, and a guy named Sandy Gennaro. They all played with the same guitar player in his band or one of his solo projects. Carmine, Tommy Aldridge, Nico, Sandy Gennaro.
I'm going to say John Sykes.
Oh, incorrect, but not a bad guess. The one that gives it away is Nico McBrain. Who did Nico McBrain play with?
The guitar player with Nico?
Yeah, he was in the blank band in the 70s.
And it was the guitar player's band.
Yeah, named after that guitar player.
Ronnie Montrose.
Pat Travers Band.
Damn it.
Nico was in the Pat Travers Band.
Really?
So was Tommy Aldridge before. Yeah.
Was
that was in the 70s.
Before or after Trust?
I think.
Because I know Nico was in Trust for a while.
I think it was before. Because there is video of Nico playing the Pat Travers on some live thing in Germany. And there he is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. 0 for 5.
Yeah, 0 for 5. Well, Nico just retired, so he's been around a while. And freaking Tommy Aldridge now has these drum videos. The guy looks like he's 90 years old in the face, but when you see him playing, like, oh my God, this guy's a monster. Still great.
Oh yeah, but yeah, he's looking a little weather worn. That's
he
for
looks
sure.
like a skeleton with the hair. You just put a wig on a skeleton, and you see the guy playing. It's like, oh my God. Yeah, you probably
great.
You can't even see the strings that are attached to him like a puppet.
Marionette Tommy Aldridge.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
All right, question 6 for you, which I don't think you'll get at all, but who knows?
All right.
I've thought that before. So there was a super group in the 80s called Big People.
Never
They
heard
had
of him.
no albums, and just did live shows. Any idea who was in that group?
Never heard of it.
Big People.
What state? What country?
They were in the U.S. I don't know. Maybe they're from California. I have no idea.
Oh, so it was a bunch of guys that called themselves Big People.
Big People.
Couldn't tell. I never heard of it in my life. What year?
That was, I think it was like in the late 80s.
Late 80s. Okay, I don't know. Neil Sean, Sammy Hagar.
Nah, not even close.
I have no idea. Never.
Well, interesting that you had the Pat Travers question because Pat Travers was in the group
Oh, okay.
with Derek St. Holmes,
Okay.
Benjamin Orr from the Cars on bass,
Yeah.
Jeff Carlisi
That's
from 38 Special,
okay.
and Liberty DeVito.
Oh, that
Know
sounds
who
like
he was with?
yeah, Billy Joel. He's great.
Yeah.
That sounds
yeah.
That sounds like a killer band.
Yeah, I wish I could find some music by them, but
Did they just jam together thinking that was going to be a project or?
I think they never got the record deal, but they played songs from all their previous groups,
Okay.
like the Cars and Ted Nugent and Pat Travers and 38 Special, Billy Joel,
I was
all
gonna say,
that kind of stuff.
I mean, you got the cover boy there, Benjamin Orr, but the rest of the guys butt ugly, you know?
Yeah.
So you have Ben Orr on the album cover and the other four guys in the back, on the back cover,
Right.
like Cheap
Kinda
Trick.
Like Cheap Trick album.
Yeah. Big, never heard that. Wow.
Big people. Yep.
I mean, I guess in the 80s, nobody was interested in any of those people, really. I mean, with the exception of maybe Ben Orr.
Maybe?
Maybe, but the rest of them were kind of past their primes.
Yeah.
And yeah, but
Who knows?
But still, killer players. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I'd really like to have heard that, but there you go. 0 for 6.
Jeez, like we predicted, last show of the year going 0 for 6. I wonder if anybody out there got anything right.
Yeah. If anybody's even heard of Big People, let us know.
No, I haven't. Where'd you
Or
find
send
that
us a
one?
link if you have a video.
Yeah, they probably never did anything. They probably met one night for dinner, and that's where you got that from. Oh, let's call it Big People. Ha ha. Some guy in Delaware will use this as a question on his podcast. Okay, great.
Totally.
Yeah, all right. Okay, people. So we're going to give you a quick commercial break, and we're going to be back with our top 10 albums of 2024. Get ready.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. During the break, I looked up on YouTube Big People, and there are some videos out there of like them doing some Cars songs, some 38 Special songs. There's a couple of videos of their full show from back in 2000. So this is a lot later than late 80s. But it looks pretty cool. I'm going to check these videos out and see what's going on. There's some like a full show's like 45 minutes, and then there's a bunch of just single songs. So I'm checking it out for sure.
Yeah, Danny was telling me this was probably about the time that Benjamin Orr had already been diagnosed with cancer, so he wasn't doing that great, and something maybe the band split up and stopped working because Benjamin Orr didn't make it much longer after that.
Yeah, once he passed, the band just didn't. Maybe he was the driving force of the band, and he was definitely the best looking one. So who knows?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, cool. I'm gonna go check that out after this. And now, Dan, our top 10 albums of 2024.
Top 10.
Dun dun
Now,
dun.
I'm going to be the first to admit I did not listen to all of these albums.
Uh-oh.
The list you sent me, there's no way I would have been able to listen to all these.
So you're basically telling us your list will be bogus.
I will tell you the albums I listened to and I liked.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. So what I did was I sent Danny a list of about, 50, 60 albums that I think that he may have heard or that I know what he's into and what we're both kind of into. Because there's literally so many albums out there released that nobody has enough time to listen to all this stuff. In fact, I was watching Sea of Tranquility on YouTube. This guy named Pete Pardo has a show, and I just watched his top 50 albums of 2024, and I was going through his list, and the list I sent Danny, and he only mentioned Magnum Saxon, Bruce Dickinson, Judas Priest, Stryper, Riot 5, Black Country Communion, and Deep Purple off of this list. Everything else on his list, most of it I had never heard of because it was like prog doom metal or death metal mixed with this, and this guy's into a lot of stuff that we're outside of our range.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much out there, but yeah, he specializes more the proggy stuff, but there's some stuff that comes over. In fact, on my list of the stuff I named, I think on my top 10 list, I think only one album appears on my top 10 that was in his top 50. So, no, actually, two albums on his top 50 in my top 10. The rest of them, none of them made it. So I guess this is another side of hard rock and metal, pretty much. So
Interesting. Okay.
all right. And then after we go through our 10, we'll go through our honorable mentions and our disappointments. So,
Yeah.
Danny, let's start at number 10 for you.
Number 10 for me. Ugh. Well, I'm going to go with that Accept album, Humanoid. I've always liked Accept a long time, and I think this is another, I don't know, it's the same vein that they've been releasing recently. So I really like that album, Humanoid.
Pretty good. I saw them on the tour. I think they played about 4 songs off of Humanoid. Reckoning, they played Humanoid, and I forgot the other one, but I think they played at least 4 songs off of that. Really strong.
Okay.
So if you like Accept, especially the last 4, they're all pretty consistent, and they still have that Wolf Hoffman tone, and the backing vocals are like classic Accept. It's great stuff. It didn't make mine, but I definitely considered it, and I actually listened to it today on my 3-mile walk. So,
All right.
good one. And
Nice.
my number 10 is an album that surprised me. I didn't think this was going to make my list, but it made Pete Pardo's list. It's Striper, When We Were Kings. I listened to it today. Hadn't listened to it ever, and it was really good. Crunchy tone, great vocals. The songs were strong. This is Striper's 20th album.
Wow.
I was shocked, and I'm not a big Striper fan at all. I like some of their stuff, but this was good the whole thing throughout. I didn't skip anything, so I'm going to go back and check it out some more. So, yeah, Striper. So, Danny, write these down
Well,
that you can...
I am, and I will. Striper's coming later in my list. I'll tell you that.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So, yeah, I was surprised they made my list because I didn't even really consider it. When I initially looked at the list, I'm like, okay, well, this one's going to make it. This one's going to make it. I didn't even think about Striper. I went, wow, this is kind of good. All right, cool.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, now we're down to number 9.
All right. Number 9 for me is the Deep Purple album, like =1 or -1 or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, I think
however you want to say it.
Yeah, it's =1. Yeah, I never heard
Great.
it.
I listened to it a couple times when you sent it to me, and then I listened to it again not too long ago, and it's just classic Deep Purple. It's really good. And I was kind of, I don't know what I was expecting really, but
Yeah, that album made the top 3 in the Sea of Tranquility list.
all right.
And yeah, he praised it. He said the new guitar player fits right in. This is like it's the most guitar-heavy album since the Richie Blackmore era. I'm like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out. I didn't listen to one song off of this because there were so many things to listen to. So yeah, I totally missed the boat on Deep Purple. So definitely that's one I'm gonna check out for sure. All right,
Nice.
number 9 for me, and I like this band. This is their 12th album in their career, House of Lords, Full Tilt Overdrive. One I really didn't listen to until yesterday.
Okay.
And there's a big reason I should have listened to it earlier. Okay, it does have James Christian as lead vocalist and Jimmy Bell, who's the guitar player, who also did some side work with Autograph. But the big key to this is they added a keyboard player, and his name is Mark Mangold. Ever heard of him?
Really?
Mark Mangold from Touch.
From Touch.
Yes.
Wow.
He is on this album. He wrote all this stuff with James Christian. And the last couple of House of Lords albums were less keyboardy. This one brings the Greg Giuffria keyboards back to the band. It sounds like classic House of Lords. It's pretty good. I mean, this is one of them. Okay, again, I missed the boat on this. Listen to it, like, okay, well, this is making the list. This is pretty damn good. Mark Mangold is on this. Who doesn't like Mark Mangold who likes keyboards, especially in the AOR?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was from Touch and Drive, She Said.
Yeah, I screwed up on that one. Jeez, I missed
Yeah,
that.
wow. I will say I haven't listened to that album at all, so I'll have to check that one
So,
out.
yeah, there you go. So I got to listen to the Deep
Yeah.
Purple, and you got to listen to House of Lords. Okay, now,
Yep,
number
definitely.
8 for you.
Number 8 for me is the Riot 5 album, Mean Streets.
Mm-hmm.
Really good. I was kind of shocked because I hadn't heard anything from Riot. You know, I probably haven't listened to much that they've released since the 80s. But this one is really good. I thought, let me put it on while I'm working. And just great.
Yeah,
Really-
I listened to it yesterday. Didn't make my list, considered it, liked it a lot. It's really riff heavy.
Yeah.
It's more like the Thundersteel Riot. It's less like the early 80s Riot, but it's good.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
but
That's what I was thinking. I mean, I don't know that you're going to get much of the like Narita or Fire Down Below kind of stuff.
Yeah, it sounds completely different. But
Yeah.
it's
But
quality.
it's still good.
Yeah, good band. I don't even know who was original in that lineup. I know somebody played in Riot at some point in the last 50
I think
years.
maybe one guy. I looked it up, and the main guys that we would think of as Riot are not in the band. so.
Right. I know they played the Whiskey this year because I was wearing my Riot shirt at one of the shows there, and somebody came up to me, "Did you see Riot 5?" No, I missed it. It's like, oh, they were great. They played the old stuff and the new stuff. I'm like, maybe I should have went to that, but
Should have went.
maybe I was working that day. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. My number 8 is a band I never heard of at all up until about a month and a half ago.
All right.
Never heard a bit of them. Don't know anything about them. Their name of this band is Tungsten. It's Tungsten. They're a Swedish power metal band from a former drummer from Hammerfall. This guy named Anders Johansson. And it's a 4-person band. The drummer's from Hammerfall. And his 2 sons are the guitar player and the bass player. So it's a family affair plus a vocalist. And I'm like,
Wow.
and I started listening to a little bit more power metal this year. Just some of it I like, some of it is too much, just overload, too much of the choir vocals. But this is more hard rock. It still has that aspect of the background vocals, but the songs are really strong. The riffs are really good. I mean, I never heard of this damn band. And the name of the album is The Grand Inferno. Tungsten. Good stuff. Good songs. Gets right to the point. Good vocals. Not too much into the Nordic folk music kind of. So, because sometimes they'll throw in that stuff and you'll see some, violins in it and people dancing in kilts. I'm like, okay, this is going a little too much that way.
Yeah, a little much.
But fun stuff, good. I think you'd like it a lot. So Tungsten.
I'll have to check that out. That's another one I haven't listened to at all. I'm going to check. I've written it down, so I'll check it out.
Yeah, I don't know why I listened to it at one point. Like, holy crap, who the heck is this? And then, there's videos on YouTube, and like, these guys are good. They play like in these European festivals. You can tell they're not that big yet because they're on in the middle of the day, or maybe the first band in the morning, or so.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to be, power metal band at 2 PM.
Yeah, but if you're not that big yet, when you're watching these things in a still light out, they're not that big yet. So, but
Yeah,
I
exactly.
quite dug them. They have like 3 or 4 albums, and this is the only first one I've heard. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to dig into these guys. All right, now number 7.
Number 7 for me is the new Sebastian Bach album. I've always been a fan of his since, the first Skid Row album. And I thought for a while, his first couple albums after Skid Row were really good. I think then I don't know what happened or what changed with him, but this latest album I think is really good. Child Within the Man.
Yep, I agree, and we might be hearing about that a little bit later too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is probably the closest.
Really strong.
Closest to Skid Row out of the 4 solo albums he's got. Good call.
I'm a fan of that one.
Yeah, that rules. All right, my number 7 is a band you've probably heard of, and I know you've seen. Judas Priest, The Invisible Shield, album album 19. All songs written by Glenn Tipton, Richie Faulkner, and Rob Halford. I don't know if Glenn plays on this, but I know he's involved in the songwriting. This album is just as good, if not better, than Firepower. It's pretty strong. And
wow. Okay, I've listened to a couple songs from it, and I thought, oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah. The album is produced by Andy Sneap, who is the touring other guitar player. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When it came out, I didn't really pay attention to it. Listened to it 3 days ago. I'm like, man, this is pretty good all the way through. Strong. Even the bonus tracks are pretty good. So it could have been higher. And I even considered to go higher, but I said 7 because I hadn't given it enough time. The ones ahead of it, I've listened to more, so that's why I have it at 7.
Yeah,
but
I get that.
if I listen, it would move up probably if I spent a lot more time with it. But throughout the year, Danny and I exchange music and stuff, and lots of times we'll be listening to stuff that we never heard of, like 30 years ago or 40 years ago.
Right.
Like Danny went through the entire Uriah Heep catalog, because he never listened to it before, and sometimes we'll just stumble across stuff like I never heard that one.
Exactly.
The Nazareth catalog, and you discover gems. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we've never heard, and probably will never hear in our lifetime in our little MP3 libraries.
And there's some pretty big stinkers of those. We find like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, let's delete that crap right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's keep our own greatest hits of Uriah Heep.
Yeah.
You get like 5 or 6 songs that are great. Then you're like,
yeah, they're beloved in Europe, but for me, I could put them on an EP.
Yeah,
actually,
exactly.
I could put my favorite Uriah Heep on one album, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So
number 6.
Number 6 for me, a band that I really like, unbelievable musicians, is Black Country Communion. Those guys, I don't think they can put out bad stuff. I mean, they're not going to be popular. I don't see them touring at all ever. But, Glenn Hughes and, the guitar player.
Joe Bonamassa,
yeah. Just awesome talent, man. They're great songs, great vocals, as you would expect.
Yeah. Glenn Hughes, I got to see him this year. Is as good as advertised. Fantastic. What he sounds like on record is what you hear live. It's ridiculous. This is the 5th Black Country Communion album. I think it's not their best. It's good. And I like this. I think it was Stay Free, the second song on that album, I really liked. But some of it, okay, I'm like, I don't know. I like them, but it's not my favorite of their albums. I go back to the
first or second.
Yeah, for sure. But good stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it as a disappointment because I thought it was good, but yeah, it's decent. I like it. Didn't make my list though. All right, number 6 is one that surprised the heck out of me because as a band I liked in the 80s, but I didn't love them. And this might be my favorite album from them. And it's surprised. I think it's there's 2 Canadian artists on my list. This is the first Canadian artist on my list.
Okay.
It's their 8th album, and they still have 2 original members, the lead singer and the lead guitar player. It's Honeymoon Suite.
Nice.
The album is alive. And man, it's only 10 songs. Every song is good. It's ridiculous. This is probably my favorite Honeymoon Suite album.
Wow, that's saying something because they had some great albums.
Yeah, I didn't think this was going to be anything. When I saw a live album, it's going to be a live album. Nope. 10 studio tracks. Really strong. I mean, the best music of their career. I mean, right up your alley. This is melodic hard rock.
All right.
It's good. Can't go wrong with this one. I mean, they may have sold 12 copies, but it's good.
I don't think I've heard this album. I mean, of course, I know a lot about Honeymoon Suite, but I don't know that I heard this album, so I'm going to have to check that one out, too.
Yeah.
You give me a whole list of homework now.
Yeah, well, yeah. When you're working on your December, Danny gets swamped in December, just turn the music on and get those fingers moving.
Yep.
Get to work. So, yeah, you got some good stuff to listen to.
It can get lonely climbing Mount McKinley, so to entertain myself, I go to ChumbaCasino.com. At Chumba Casino, I can play hundreds of online casino-style games for free, like online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Plus, I get a daily login bonus. It's just too bad that up here, I don't have anyone to share my excitement with. Woohoo!
Live the Chumba life. Anytime, anywhere. Play for free now at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
All right, number 5.
Number 5 for me, and I should have put this album higher, I think, but the Kissin' Dynamite is awesome.
Back with
Those
bang.
guys are so good, but this album is great. If you're into just, I don't know, if you're into rock at all, this album is so good.
Yeah, if you like 80s rock with gang vocals, yeah, this is right up your alley.
A lot of guitar in your face kind of stuff.
And they've released some stuff in the States. I forgot which. It may have been Nuclear Blast or somebody like that. But yeah, nobody's heard of these guys over here. They're pretty much Japan or mostly Europe. And they've been around a while. It's their 8th album. So Back with a Bang.
Well, it's great.
Yeah, Back with a Bang, Kissin' Dynamite. Yeah, you might be hearing about that one later. All right,
number 5 for you.
My number 5 is the 7th album from this band, and we talked about them during Rapid Fire. The Dead Daisies, Light 'Em Up. The 7th album from them, and the return of John Corabi on lead vocals. And the other guys in this band still is David Lowy, who's the founding member, Doug Aldridge, Michael Devon, and Tommy Clufetos on drums. This album is more in the vein of like an AC/DC or Kicks. It's that kind of style, stripped down, balls to the wall, driving on your Harley type music. Gets right to the point. It's good. It comes off really good live. I got to see them live. And even though I saw them before this album came out, every song they played, like, instantly you knew it within a minute. Right in your face. Good stuff. Dead Daisies. They don't get...
Yeah, I should have seen them when they were playing this tiny little town in Jersey that was about an hour and a half away. I should have gone, but, that's a long drive to go to a show and then drive back.
Yeah, well,
by yourself. So.
And next time they come around, they seem to come around. I mean, I know Doug Aldridge has a cancer scare. So Reb Beach actually filled in for him in Europe. But when I heard he's doing pretty well. So when they come back, we're seeing Doug Aldridge is a great guitar player. That's the first time I ever saw him, too, and he was well worth it.
Yeah.
So now down to number 4.
Number 4 for me, and this was a shocker to me, I think, but the Michael Schenker album, I think, it's all UFO songs, but with different singers. And, I love UFO. I think his tenure in UFO was like the classic. And having these other singers just brings a whole different aspect to the songs, but they're great. So I really like this album. I listened to it a bunch of times.
Yeah, it's pretty faithful to the UFO music, and this could have been a total train wreck, but it's really pro. I mean, we've got an Axl Rose, Jeff Scott Soto, Joe Lynn Turner. Who else is on this?
Oh, yeah.
Dee Snider, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, you read through it and you think, I don't know, is this going to be any good? And then you start listening like, yeah, it's damn good.
Yeah. So, this is pro all the way. It's not some cheap Cleopatra thing where they throw together 80s vocalists on it. Well, those aren't bad either, but this is like a step above it. I mean, it's not on my list, but I did consider it. It's really good.
Yeah, it is.
In fact, I think the one with Axl Rose, Love to Love, is probably the worst song on here, and it's not bad either.
Right. Yeah, I have a whole issue with Axl Rose just overall, but yeah, that's probably the worst song, but it's not one that I would skip if I didn't have to.
I wouldn't have picked him for that song though. It's pretty much of a. It's not a ballad. It's it's a ballad, but it's I would have picked him more of a rocker for him, but who knows how he can sing now.
I would have picked somebody like Joe Lynn Turner or somebody for that song, but hey. It works.
And Jeff Gasso, they nail their songs. Dee Snider's
Oh,
great
yeah.
on this too. So yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it's a winner. All right,
Number 4.
Number 4, which I think will pop up on your list. It will be Eclipse. Megalomanium 2. Is that how you pronounce that?
Megalomanium.
Megalomanium 2. The 11th album from, can you believe it? 11th album from this Swedish band with hooks for years. So if you've never heard Eclipse, they're a 4-piece led by Eric Martinson. Swedish dude. One of those genius guys like Butch Walker or Jason Bieler or Ginger Wildheart. Great songwriter. Every song has a memorable chorus. I mean, this one's no exception. I almost missed this album. I mean, I got to it late because I figured the first one, this was part 1. I didn't know there's a part 2. So I figured I already gave Danny this album a while ago, and I didn't. And when I got it, I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. And the fact that they're going to play one show in the States, which is good.
One show.
3 months from now, Danny and I will be seeing them at the Whiskey in Los Angeles.
Man.
Would not be
I
surprised
can't wait.
if it's
It's
sold
going to be
out.
so freaking good.
Yeah, I think they're going from the Monsters of Rock cruise right to California to play that show. I guess the Whiskey's a place that a lot of people want to play because it's so famous. Everybody's played there. I don't know if you've been to the Whiskey yet.
I don't think so.
I know you've been to the Roxy.
I've been to the Roxy and the Country Club.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the Troubadour.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the Whiskey, I don't think.
Gazar.
And I haven't been to the Rainbow either.
Well, you will be in the Rainbow.
All
We're
right,
going to have
nice.
pizza at the Rainbow.
Sweet.
And you might even have a beer there. And you can see the seat that Lemmy used to sit on. It's right there, right next to a statue. So that's a preview of things to come. All right, number 3 for you.
We'll probably hear about that album in a little bit on my list. But
I'm not surprised. All right, number 3.
Number 3 for me is the Mr. Big album.
Oh.
Love Mr. Big. You know, I wasn't expecting much out of this album, but the more I listen to it, the more I'm enjoying it. It's classic Mr. Big. There's nothing surprising. You know, you're going to get killer chops from everybody in the band, so it's awesome.
All right, Mr. Big. The name of the album was 10, and you will be hearing about this a little bit later.
All right.
But not the way you think. All right.
All right.
And that was number 3. All right, number 3 is an album you've already mentioned before from Sebastian Bach, Child Within the Man. His 4th studio album. I think it's his strongest of his solo career. Danny and I both agree. Both made our lists. Even though Sebastian's kind of a nut job on social media, you know what? He's still great live, and he put out a really good album. So I can't fault him. I don't care. I don't care if he makes an ass of himself. But he made a really good record. I can't fault this at all. If you like Skid Row, go get it. Even if you don't like Sebastian, go get it. It's really good.
Yeah, just put all that other crap aside.
Yeah, he just played 2 nights at the Whiskey, so probably did pretty well. Yeah, he's still great live too. I have nothing about his.
Yep.
Don't personally, he's like Tommy Lee. He's like, you got some growing up to do, but
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Sebastian Bach at 3 for me. All right, number 2 for you.
Number 2 for me, we've already talked about is the Dead Daisies.
Oh,
I think the best thing they did was bring back John Corabi. That guy, the only thing against John Corabi is he just shoots himself in the foot. I don't know what his deal is, that he just can't handle success or just doesn't like it or what, but I don't know. I think the Motley Crue album with him on it is their best album by far.
The Scream album is great.
Yeah, Scream is great. I like the Dead Daisy albums with him on it, and this is no exception.
Yeah, the Union albums are good too. Yeah,
oh man,
I think it's
that first Union album.
Yeah, problem with Corabi's timing is bad. The music he makes is really good. It's just the timing of when this stuff comes out is bad, or something wrong is wrong with a record company, or it's always something. I don't know if it's
Something.
him, but the timing is off. And I know.
Well, you got to look at all that stuff that happens, and what's the common denominator?
It's him.
It's him. But maybe it's just he is the unluckiest person. But the guy can sing his ass off, and the first Union album with the song "Do Your Own Thing," probably one of my favorite songs of anybody.
Yeah, we got to see them.
You got to check it out if you don't know it.
Yeah, we saw John Corabi without the beard and short hair.
Yep, short hair, playing at this little tiny club. Just so great. So great.
Yeah.
Right in front of us.
He is an amazing. You know what? And it's not his personality either, because if you see him on podcasts, the guy's like, she's a chatterbox. He's full of energy.
Oh, yeah.
He's funny. He doesn't hold.
He's a great guy. From Philly.
Yeah, doesn't pull any punches. Tells it like it is. Maybe that's part of it. He's one of those guys that's just honest. Sometimes that rubs people the wrong way. I don't know. But I know he left the Dead Daisies initially because I think he wanted to spend more time with his wife and his son. And that's why he kind of left. And then they kind of brought Glenn Hughes in for a little bit. But there was no bad blood between them. So when Glenn Hughes wanted to concentrate more on his career, this other stuff, Corabi was available. So they brought him back. Yeah, good move for the Dead Daisies. The problem with the Dead Daisies is too many lead singers have been in that band. Keep it consistent and people will stick with you, I think.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, solid out.
That was my number 2.
All right. My number 2 you have not mentioned yet. I don't even know if you're familiar with this band that much. Their first album came out 20 years ago, and then they put it on hiatus. And then their second album surprisingly came out this year. It's the Tak Matsumoto Group, TMG, which features Eric Martin from Mr. Big, Jack Blades from Night Ranger, Matt Storm of Guns N' Roses on drums, and the guitar player is Tak Matsumoto from The Bees. And that band is huge in Japan. Their first album was great. The second album is great. I mean, you got Jack Blades and Eric Martin playing together. Songs are strong through the whole thing. But again, it's one of those things that's only released in Japan. But I think the second one got released in Europe too through Frontiers. Good stuff. If you're a fan of Mr. Big or Night Ranger, you're going to like this because the songs are strong. It's a good album.
Yeah, I haven't listened to that album at all. So I'm going to have to check that out.
You're going to like it right away. And if you're not familiar with the first album was maybe even better.
All right.
It's good stuff.
Nice.
It's funny because I think Eric Martin's performance on this album is much better, and the songs are much better on this one than the Mr. Big album.
Okay.
Just my opinion.
Yeah. I will say, even though I really like that album, I think Eric Martin was the weak link on the
he struggled.
Mr. Big album.
He struggled on tour.
Yeah.
He did. You could see it was.
He totally did. Yeah. I saw that tour where I was in the third row, and he sounded okay, but
Yeah, but I'd seen Eric Martin in the past where he was hitting everything. And on this tour, he was having some vocal help with the other three guys were harmonizing a lot and helping him quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe that's why they said, you know what, it's about time to end this. Even though the tour went really well globally. Of course, they were huge in Japan, but yeah, maybe it was time to stop. So
yeah. Hang it up. And I think that's what the tour was meant to represent.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Everybody who's said they were going to retire, except for Rush, they've all come back. So we'll see.
You're not going to see Rush out again.
The Who is still. Yeah, so we'll see.
Maybe the Who should stop.
REO Speedwagon just stopped. So
yeah,
we'll see about that. You hear about the story about that. Well, maybe we can get into that later. But you know what happened with that?
No.
So the bass player, Bruce Hall, had a surgery, so he was out for a while. So they brought in Matt Bissonette on bass.
Okay.
So Matt Bissonette, brother of Greg Bissonette, monster player, also played with David Lee Roth. And like Kevin Cronin said they sounded so good with Matt Bissonette when it was time to bring Bruce back, he said, I don't want to do it anymore. It's never going to be as good as it is now, bringing back the old bass player. So he said,
wow.
They just had their last show, so Kevin Cronin is going to go solo and just play REO by himself. So he basically broke up the band because he didn't want to bring the bass player back and to regress. So kind of a slap in the face, huh?
A little bit, yeah. Jesus.
Yeah,
that's rough.
That's the REO Speedwagon drama, because nobody else wanted to stop the band. But without Kevin Cronin, you can't do REO Speedwagon. He's the sound.
No.
Even
he's the vocalist, and that's all they've got.
Yeah, so
I mean, they got great songs, but he's the vocalist is what you need.
So when he does his Summer Shed tour, it's gonna be like Styx, Kevin Cronin, and somebody else. So
yeah.
So okay, I regress. Now,
all right.
Now down. No. Oh, before that, let's do a commercial break, and we'll give you our number one.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. People always say it's good to unwind, but that's easier said than done. The exception, Chumba Casino. They actually make it easier done than said, or at least the same. Chumba Casino is an online social casino with hundreds of casino-style games like slots and blackjack. Play for fun. Play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Sign up now and collect your free welcome bonus at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
All right, here we go, guys. Top 10 2024. Danny, what's your number one?
Well, you picked it earlier. It's definitely Eclipse. I love that band, and I mean, I'm flying to California to see them, so you got to know there's something there. So I'm gonna get all eclipsed up before I go. Make sure I know everything off particularly their latest albums. I already know their first few albums pretty well. So
yeah, but they have 11 albums. Do you know all 11? Yeah. I know some songs here and there. I know the singles, some of the singles, but yeah, I'm gonna have to go deep with Eclipse, especially the last 5 albums. So I'm ready.
Check out online what their set list is.
Yeah, find out what they're playing at the Monsters of Rock, what their set list is, and learn those. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully they don't disappoint. So.
Oh man, I'll be really bummed if they suck.
Yeah, but
I don't think they're gonna suck.
I don't think so either. So maybe we'll see some special guests showing up there. Maybe Jeff Scott Soto will show up. They're buddies, so you never know. He's in town.
He and Eric Martinson.
So we might see some people in the crowd there, so you don't know. All right.
That'd be cool if they pulled out a Wet song.
That would be cool.
That would be very cool.
Well, I'm going to see Saigon Kick, and Jeff Scott Soto is singing vocals on that show.
I know.
That's good.
Damn it. I'm waiting to see if they're playing New York or not. I haven't heard anything about that yet.
I believe they are, but I don't know if it's been announced yet. So yeah, you're gonna have to do that.
And the Bee Gees' son playing bass,
Brandon Gibb. Yeah. In fact, I saw him play with him already. Yeah, he's good. No high vocals though. No, not
okay, good.
No, he doesn't do that. All right, my number one is an album you've already mentioned.
All right.
From Germany, Kissing Dynamite, back with a bang. Their 8th studio album, pretty much totally unknown here, and this could be their best album, I think. It's pretty strong. The band's mission is to bring back stadium rock, so that gives you an idea what they sound like. Stadium rock, big choruses. Yeah. I mean, stuff you're going to remember right away. This is
the
their
guitars.
Yeah, this is their first number one album in Germany, so in their home country, they're doing quite well. I'm sure they're doing okay in surrounding countries around there. So they're doing decently, and they can see them on the festival circuit. It seems like they're moving up on the bill. I mean, they're not huge or anything, but yeah. Anybody who likes 80s style hard rock, Kissin' Dynamite is right up your alley. Check them out.
Nice.
All right. Now, do you have any honorable mentions you want to mention? Because there is one.
I've got a couple. I really like the new Dragon Force album.
Okay.
If you're into speed metal, those guys are top notch, man. Their guitar players are so freaking good. Almost on the opposite end of that, I really like the Richie Kotzen album.
Okay.
Nomad. It's a lot more bluesy and laid back. And when I saw him a few weeks ago, or a few months ago, I guess, he played a bunch of songs from this, and it was very much laid back and just kind of, he played with a trio, him and a bass player and a drummer. And it was pretty much like a solo thing. He could have done it by himself, I think. But, and then you mentioned the Revolution Saints album. Which
Yeah.
I
didn't listen to it this time around. So yeah, that's why it didn't make my list. So I couldn't put it on the list without listening to it. It might be great because I know they changed players in it, but
yeah, it's good. It's it kind of reminds, I guess, just because of the circumstances, it kind of reminds me of the Dead Daisies. But
yeah, it's still Dean from Journey on vocals and drums, but they switched out Jack. I don't even know who's in it anymore. Is it Pilsen or Jack Blades? Or I can't remember. I don't remember.
I don't know.
They're named guys. There's 3 guys, but I don't remember. So I couldn't put it on my list because I hadn't really listened to it. Okay. So.
But Dean sings his ass off, so he's really, really good.
Okay. You got any more, or is that it?
That's all the honorable mentions I've got.
All right. I have 3 also. One I'm surprised you didn't mention. Saxon, Hellfire, and Damnation. The first album with Brian Tatler from Diamond Head in it. I listened to it. I like it, but it didn't quite crack my top 10.
I agree. I listened to it. I thought it sounded good, but it's not as good as the other 10 I have.
Right. Next one was a I think a Swedish power metal band called Hammerfall. Avenge the Fallen. I love the title track, and it's good, but I hadn't spent enough time with it, so I couldn't put it on there. And
I did listen to that one, and at first you're thinking, man, this is good, and then you realize, it's 45, 50 minutes of that same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I'd like a little bit more variety, but
yeah, that's where I think it's where Manowar screwed up. Their first album was very diverse and topics and stuff, and then they just honed in on the Conan thing, and everything was about that.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, I need a little variety too. I can't too much sameness, I guess.
Yeah, death to your loincloth.
Yeah. All right, and the last one is one I don't even know if you've ever heard of this band, but they're coming up. 3 sisters from Mexico. They're called The Warning.
I've actually seen a couple videos of them. They're not too bad.
Yeah, it's called Keep Me Fed. I just saw a video of them playing in Poland at night at a festival, and there was a lot of people there. They're very good. They're very young. I think I think the bass player is probably 19, and the guitar player or drummer. It's just a 3-piece, but they're very talented, and they're from Mexico, but they play hard rock.
Yeah.
But they're good, and they've been doing this for like 10 years, since they were little kids. So there's videos, and we see them there with like these little girls in pigtails on. I guess they got their break on YouTube doing a cover of Metallica, Exit. So they did a cover of that as little girls from Mexico. So that's how people kind of noticed them, and they just kind of keep getting better and better and better and better. And now people are noticing them. So The Warning, Keep Me Fed.
Yeah.
It's good, but not good enough to crack my top 10. Now, do you have any disappointments?
I just the one. I'm kind of disappointed in the Anvil album. Usually Anvil comes out with at least 1 or 2 songs that I like. I'm thinking, man, that's a cool song. This album, maybe not so much, but I mean, it's Anvil. What do you expect?
Yeah. What was the name of that? Do you remember? I don't remember the name of it. I mean, I remember listening to it, but it wasn't enough to. Oh, it's called One and Only. But it didn't really knock my socks off. It was like, okay, this is Anvil. It's pretty standard. Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, I mean, if you like Anvil, you probably already have it. So
yeah, I have 3 disappointments.
Oh boy, okay.
One of them is on your top 10 list.
Oh wow, okay.
Mr. Big 10.
Wow.
Love the tour. Love the band. I guess I expected more. I expected it to be better than it is. I think it's okay. I mean, it's not terrible, but
Yeah.
it's not my favorite Mr. Big album by far. I wouldn't put it.
No.
I can think of 5 albums that are much better. It's definitely in the
It's
lower.
definitely not bump ahead or lean into it for sure.
No. It's probably in the bottom 2. So
Wow.
that's why it's a
Okay.
disappointment, but not terrible. Bon Jovi Forever.
I don't want to have anything to do with Bon Jovi. I did not listen to that album. I don't care.
First single was great. Second single was pretty good. Rest of the album is awful. When they brought in John Shanks as a producer / other guitar player, it's bad. It's terrible. It's not the Bon Jovi we grew up with. It's ugh.
No, I've written Bon Jovi off. I was a huge fan back in the day
So was
when
I.
all the girls were.
You got Phil X
But-
and you're not using them. Ugh. Turned into a bad country band.
Yeah, you got that kind of ripper playing guitar, and you're not letting him loose. You're no.
Yeah, every album without Sambora has been bad. And it's not Phil X's fault.
Not at all. I mean, it's John Bon Jovi's band. It's his band. It's his it's his fault.
Yeah.
Just horrible.
Yeah. Some people still like it. I can't get back. It's not much. No, it's just not good.
No, after It's My Life, that was the last I wanted to hear of Bon Jovi.
Yeah. Ugh. And in the last disappointment was the solo album from Mick Mars. It's called the Other Side of Mars. Initially, it was supposed to be Karabi on vocals on all of it. And I guess they did record some of it, but they scrapped that. And they put a guy named Jason Bunting from Lynham, who's a good singer. But these songs, there's nothing memorable there. I mean, Mick Mars was a riff master, and that's why he worked in Motley Crue. This is just dull. It's not exciting at all. It doesn't do anything for me, and I was disappointed. I mean,
Yeah, I listened to it when you sent it to me because I had heard that Karabi was singing on it, but then
yeah,
you started playing it, and it's like, well, that's not Karabi singing. And then you're like, whoa, hey.
yeah. I was thinking, Karabi's going to be there. It's going to be like the Motley Crue 1994 album.
Yeah.
Okay, this is good. Nope. This is worse than Generation Swine. It's not good.
Ugh.
Poor Mick Mars. Because I like the dude, but this is not good.
Yeah. Well.
And he got no support for whatsoever. And yeah, Motley Crue wanted nothing to do with him. They kind of did him dirty, Just kinda
I think-
shoved him off the side. Yeah.
Well, I think they did each other dirty. I think he's suing them, they're suing him, and it's all just,
So
it's all just legal.
They just put the album out, and no support for it whatsoever. They got squashed, buried, whatever you want to call it. So,
Yeah.
all right. So that concludes our top 10 from 2024. Hopefully, we turned you on to something. Danny mentioned some albums I'm going to listen to, and I probably did the same for him.
Yep, definitely.
So if you like hard rock, rock is not dead. According Gene Simmons says rock is dead. No, there's plenty of it out there. You just got to find it now. It's just not readily available. You have to search it out.
Yeah.
Through whatever podcasts or YouTube videos or whoever. Somebody's talking about the music that you like, so it's there. You just got to find it.
It's not Beyonce or anything like that, but
No.
it's out there.
Yeah. Yeah, Beyonce's just got some issues. That whole
Oh, jeez. That whole halftime thing at the game.
I
game.
turned that right off. Click. Not interested.
I was like, she's out there with the country outfit on and the cowboy Caldwell or something. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And, anybody that says everybody should thank her, just that turns me off right then.
For what?
For being a star, for being a musician,
Oh,
you should pay homage to Beyonce.
no. Beautiful woman, great singer, but I'm sorry. When people start
you're
to
just that.
I don't like the elitist attitude of actors and musicians. Some actors and some musicians, like, no. Okay, you can sing great. Okay, you can act great. Okay, but
Good for you.
You're not better than anybody else. So, it's just like you put your pants on like anybody else. So who cares?
That's right.
All right. So I think we're going to end on that high note. Beyonce. Ooh.
Ooh, yay, Beyonce. Hooray.
Yeah. And so when we do a show in 2 weeks, it'll be a new year.
Ooh.
Year 27 of the Hard Rock and Trivia Show, I think. I don't know. Something I don't remember. I think it's...
Wow. We need to check that out because 27 years.
Yeah. It's more like 13
that would
or
be
14.
shocking.
Yeah. What the hell are we doing? So, and why are we doing it for the... We're not like a 300,000 followers. We're like 100. So 100 people listen.
We're doing it for
Cool.
the hookers that blow.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah. Doing it for fun. Yeah, I got lots to listen to now. I'm going to listen to that Deep Purple album as soon as we turn this thing off. So,
Yeah,
Danny,
that is a good...
Cool. So I'll see you in a few weeks with a new show.
All right.
All right.
All right. Rock on.
Bye.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. Everybody needs some variety in life. That's what I love about Chumba Casino. They know how to keep things fresh and exciting. All their games are free to play. Like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire. You can claim free daily login bonuses, too. And they release new games every week. So spice things up with ChumbaCasino.com now for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.